Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me, 320 Simpilot, and today we have something very exciting for you. We have a preview of an upcoming aircraft for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and that is, as you can see quite clearly, the Spitfire Mark 9C by FlyingIron Simulations. This is coming out fairly soon, I believe, for the simulator, and they've been kind enough to send over a copy that we can use as a bit of a preview to give you guys a bit of a first taste of this aircraft before it releases in a few days. A full review will be coming later. This is just a preview. It's a preview build as well, of course, so it's not quite complete. So there could be a few bugs and so on, but yeah, we're just going to get it into the air and see what we think of it on our first impressions. We're in the Muscat livery, which includes the black and white D-Day stripes, although a few liveries are included. We'll have a look at those later. And we're going to take off from here at Biggin Hill, which was one of the command bases during the Battle of Britain. And we're going to fly our Spitfire around the south of the UK, sort of in its natural home ground where they would have been seen. They were based out of Biggin Hill in the war, so yeah, felt appropriate to a flight from here. We haven't done it yet on the channel. So I'm really excited about this. I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, we will get a chance to look at this stunning aeroplane. It's so nice to see a proper Spitfire that we can enjoy the wonderful scenery in the UK with, especially with this new UK update in Microsoft Flight Simulator. As you can see, lots of nice textures on the exterior model. It's really great. When you get the sun low down, you can see all these different features. You can see the oil stains coming out or the slicks coming out the exhaust there. I'm not even sure if it is oil, but whatever the effects are. Look at that propeller with all this different texturing and the light bouncing off it. It's just, yeah, it's really starting to mature this simulator so we can get these incredible visual experiences out of it, which is really great to see. Now, I haven't got any experience flying a real Spitfire. I've never done it. I know you can still do it from Biggin Hill. There are companies that will let you sit in a two-seater and fly from Biggin Hill. But yeah, it's actually not that easy, as we're about to find out. So what we're going to do is we'll fire up and then get ourselves underway. I just want to give you guys a good idea of the exterior first, for those of you who are excited for this, just to give you lots of extra nice footage is the idea. So there you go. Look at that. All the different patterns and stains and just fantastic. Really nice to see. I will also be showing you the nice sound effects that they've got with this. So yeah, I'll make sure I stop talking for those parts. And there we go. So let's get fired up and underway. Okay, so here we are in the flight deck now, and we'll get ourselves up and running. It's going to be a nice day when we get up above this mist layer, I think. That will burn off with the sun, so this should be a really, really beautiful flight. I'm looking forward to this. So what is included is a nice checklist. There are manuals as well, but I don't have them available to me at the moment. So let's check that the parking brake is set, which is back here. So that's, I think that is set there. And we actually get a little indicator, just like the Airbus, to show us the brake pressure. So that's quite fun. So parking brake, we can tick. Battery is on. That's actually hidden behind here. So let's just check that's on. So that is battery master on. Prop control forwards, which is this black lever here. Prop control fully forward. Fuel tanks on. So that's this one. We click that. There you go. It does highlight the correct thing if you click on it properly. Mixture idle cut off, which is the red one as ever. Mixture is cut. Throttle open 1/4 of an inch. So we just open that up a little bit. Wobble or booster pump, and we need to get it until the fuel pressure warning light's extinguished. Now, I'm, as I said, no Spitfire expert whatsoever, so I have been looking around. I couldn't find the fuel pressure warning light. I'm sure it's pretty obvious, but anyway, we have a little wobble pump which you can use to manually increase the fuel pressure if you need it. So we've done that. Primer as required. So the primer now we can use. If you overprime the Spitfire engine, you can cause it problems and then you won't be able to start it, apparently. But there we go. So we won't overprime it, but there we go. That is done. Starter booster safety coil covers open. So that's these little black covers here. They're open. So like guarded switches in the Airbus. Quite fun to see. Mixture auto full forward. So this can go fully forwards. Tick. Magnetos on. On. Tick. Starter and booster engage. So you're actually going to do both of these. So what I'm going to do is turn up the audio and let you guys enjoy the sound as I press both of those. And there we have it. Starter and booster we've engaged. That is the before start checklist. I'm going to close those covers. We don't need those now. I'm going to bring that throttle back a bit, just so we don't sit there with the risk of tipping over. Whilst we're here, let's take a look at a couple of other things. We have some floodlights we can use for night flying, including this little... Oh, there's the oxygen regulator. Let's turn the oxygen regulator on. That sounds good. I'm just constantly learning things about this this airplane. I'm not sure if we need that actually, I suppose, at the altitudes we're going to be flying. You can see the flaps are down in the landing position, and that's confirmed with this little door. Oh, yeah, let's close that door. That's confirmed with this little notch there. If I bring the flaps up, you'll see that folds away. So that's sort of evidence, and that's with this little lever here. Flaps will be up for takeoff, so we'll leave those there. We'll turn on the position lights on the outside. That seems useful. The radiator flaps I'm going to leave in automatic, but they do actually work, and the pitot heat. Pitch trim can be neutral, which is good, and the rudder trim we're supposed to trim to the right for takeoff, because the airplane is going to yaw to the left. This is just a little bit of research I've been doing to dig into it. I'm not sure if this is going to work out. We shall find out, but there we go. Over here we have the emergency, I believe this is the emergency landing gear system. If you need to force the gear down, you've got fuel jettison options. This is the windshield de-ice, which does work. We'll see if we can see that later. This is our landing gear lever. So that is set to down, as you can see, down, which is good news. And we've got fuel tank pressure off on. I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't seem to be functioning at the moment. This is our fuel gauge. This only shows the bottom tank when you press it. So the top tank should be full with 48 gallons, and then this is what's left in the bottom. I'm not, again, very familiar. This little system up here is used for your identification lights, so we're not going to worry about that. This is a supercharger. I'm going to leave it in auto. Heaven forbid I try and fiddle with any of these things. I'm sure I won't get it wrong. But there we go. This is our radio to transmit on these different channels. And prop control, mixture, magnetos are on. I think that's about it. So taxiing out the Spitfire is not easy. We're going to leave our little canopy open. I'm going to go full aft on the yoke, which you can't see, but there we go. I'm going to go full back with that and release the parking brake. There we go. You're going to hold full stick whilst you taxi it. It is prone, obviously, being a tail dragger, to tipping over. And then we're going to give it a bit of an RPM. We'll check those brakes work. They do, and we'll go left. Now, the real aircraft doesn't use toe brakes. You'll notice that when I use the brakes there, those pedals don't move, and that's accurate. What you'd have to do in the real aircraft is hold the... you'd press a brake button. I don't know. It's a system that is not very intuitive compared to toe brakes, but yeah, it's what they had at the time. There was a special button that you had to use. Taxiing these tail draggers on the ground can be tricky. I can try sitting up there. It sometimes helps me. Anyway, this is... Sorry, I don't know why I'm talking like this is a tutorial or a review. This is literally just a first impressions, just to give you guys some footage of somebody struggling to taxi around and fly a Spitfire. Absolutely love the textures that I'm seeing so far, though. I'm running this all on ultra settings today. There seems to be a bug with Microsoft Flight Simulator, or certainly I've got an issue where I can't get the frame rate to limit, which causes me problems when recording footage. But so I've had to set everything to ultra to try and reduce the frame rate a bit. So nicer problems to have, most certainly. Oh, let's try and stay on the taxiway. So should be taxiing around like this. You can see with that elevator full up. It's quite responsive on the ground. I'm not sure if it has a tail wheel lock or not. I couldn't find well, I've tried the key, but I couldn't make it work, and I can't find... I'm not sure if the real airplane did. So we're just going to head out and get ourselves airborne. Okay, it's time for takeoff. Let's get that canopy closed. I can just click up here. You can see those clouds whizzing by overhead. Goes a bit quieter in the cockpit for us. We'll make sure that our flight controls do work. Can we see behind us? Not quite, but there we go. All nice and free. And there's a few things we need to remember for takeoff. We're going to have the flaps up. I'm going to go to about 8 to 12 psi on the boost. So somewhere between 8 and 12. I don't want to just go full whack. I understand that would be a problem. I'm going to do it smoothly because it's going to be hard to control. And I'm going to remember that I have a bit of rudder trim in. Let's just check I've got that right. So rudder trim. No, it says right for starboard, which is what I did. Okay, after a few failed attempts, I found that I'm going to leave the rudder trim at roughly 0. I think that's going to work best for this. Again, I'm no expert on this Spitfire, so be prepared. Also, again, I'm convinced that Microsoft Flight Simulator's grip on the runway is just too much. It's just, yeah, not realistic. So anyway, let's give it a go. So I've got 0 rudder trim for this one. Let's see if this works. I've got full backstick, and I'm going to release that parking brake. Again, looking at this boost gauge. That's where I'm going to look for my 8 to 12. Let's just do it gently though. Give myself a chance here. So I'm holding back stick. There's 8. Oh, there's a bit of a jump to 12. Right, letting that nose come up now. Just gently holding a little bit of left rudder, trying to keep it straight. Gently, 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 and get it into the air. Around 90 miles an hour, you can get it into the air. So yeah, it's pretty quick to get airborne. Let's get that gear up. Get it into trim a bit. We do have an artificial horizon in front of us, which is nice to have. You can hear me trying to trim out. Bit of a foggy day. Let's get ourselves up. Proper climb going into the beautiful clear air. And away we go. We are flying in our Spitfire. Fantastic. Fantastic. Look at that. Those windshield effects are beautiful. I will clear up the weather so we get a nice view of the south as we head down there. Hopefully you can hear the audio. It is, yeah, pretty spectacular, pretty special. Now this is an incredibly powerful aeroplane. FlyingIron have done a lot of work on the flight model, so I'm going to bring the power right back just to keep it under control because it just races away. It's really great. Something I'm also noticing is the pitch, incredibly sensitive. Look at that. So I'm moving my joystick hardly at all, and that would make sense because, of course, our tailplane is right in the prop wash of that massive Merlin engine. Just glorious. Roll, however, is a bit more as you'd expect because that's not got any prop wash over it. So the propeller is blasting air over the tail, which makes the rudder and elevator so sensitive, but the ailerons are just in the normal airflow. Now we're in the air, let's talk about this aeroplane. So this is the Mark 9 Spitfire, I believe it's the Mark 9C. This is the version that came, obviously, to feature some new upgrades to the Spitfire. So they went through lots of different versions, all the different Mark versions of the Spitfire. It uses the same fuselage as the Mark 5, but they put in the newer Merlin engine. The reason they did this was the Mark 8 Spitfire that came before this was taking too long to build, is my understanding. So they needed a sort of a quick fix to get the new engine into these Spitfires as a counteraction to some of the new opponent aircraft that the Germans had at the time. It's an amazing machine. The ceiling of this airplane, 43,000 feet. 43,000 feet. I mean, that is higher than the Airbus are certified to fly. So yeah, incredibly powerful, that engine that they fitted to it. In terms of performance, again, this is a preview build, so I'm not going to go too much into it, but I'm noticing no issues with frame rates outside of what I would normally expect with any sort of aircraft that I've used, include more default than A320. Now we're up here, something else we should do is control that RPM. It's sitting at about 3,000, as you can see over here on my RPM gauge, so we want to bring that back down, I think something like 650, something like that. I'm taking too much power there. It runs away with you, this airplane. It's got so much thrust behind it. So the RPM gauge or control is back here. A little bit hard to reach. I actually have to bring that throttle out of the way and then slide it back. Let's see where that leaves us. That should bring us out something a bit lower. There we go, a little bit lower, 27. Again, not a Spitfire expert. Let's try a few aerobatics. So I'm going to trim it nose down a little bit, and let's put the nose down, and then we're going to pull up, wings level through the horizon, and then just keep pulling, keep the roll. If you do this perfectly, you do it all at 1G. And goodness knows what I've achieved here, but there we go. Back round and in, you can see all those shadows. And, just glorious to have this available to us in Flight Simulator. Really nice texturing in the cockpit. You can see these reflections coming off here, off the side of the sort of cockpit frame, I suppose. But yeah, excellent stuff. And of course, we have to do just a little bit of cloud surfing in our Spitfire. How could we not? Something you're going to want to remember with this is that there is a windshield de-icer. I believe it sprays fluid over the windshield in the real aircraft, but yeah, it is modelled and it does seem to remove the ice, so if we pick any up, we might need that. Let's dive down into these clouds here. Right, so there we go. Not ideal. This airplane doesn't have much in terms of anti-ice. And what we can do is go to windshield de-ice. Turn that on, and you should see it break away. There it goes. So that's a nice little detail. Something else I've noticed is you can do the radiator flaps. So those are underneath the wings. Quite iconic part of the design of the Spitfire. They are down here, and you'll see that at the moment they're pretty much closed at the back. Jump in the flight deck, open them up manually. There they go. So that's pretty cool. Pretty nice to have these things. Okay, here we are now back at Biggin Hill. We're going to go and give it a try for a landing. So, as I said, just a little preview video, just a short flight, try out some of the things, and yeah, let's go and see if we can land it. Now, landing the Spitfire is very tricky. The gear is very close together. In fact, let's lower the gear and give you guys a look. So down it comes. So you can see how it folds out from the middle and then it settles in like that. You'll notice on modern airlines it tends to stay put further apart. It gives it more stability. When you're trying to land, this one doesn't have that option, so we're going to be landing as carefully as we can, approaching around 90 miles an hour to touchdown, sort of 60 to 70 miles an hour is my understanding. The trick here is don't fiddle with the power just as you touch down, because if you bring off the power you'll suddenly get a whole load of yaw change, so it's a bit of a balancing act for that. So speed's back at 110 and we're sort of downwind, far too high though, but yeah, let's do a bit of a spiral down in towards the runway, put the last bit of the flap out. If you come in, it's very easy to come in fast because you're tempted to in order to keep the runway visual in front of you. But I have found that if I do that, when I try and land, the airplane just floats along the runway forever. There you go, we're 110, so I'm bringing that power right off now. Try and get the speed under control. Okay, we're back at 90, that's looking reasonable. Flaps are down, gear is down. I mean, how they could see the runway in front of them, I really don't know. There's a line. Let's head over to the centre line a bit more. There's the threshold. Okay, we're doing that's 70, so that's looking okay. Let's hold it here. Bit of rudder. Make sure we are straight as we touch down. There's a touchdown. Bit of a bounce, but we're down. Gently closing the throttle. And now putting back on the stick. Nope, don't tilt. There we go, holding back on the stick now. And we're slowing down, squeezing on the brakes. Oh, thank goodness, that went better than I expected. So here's a replay from the outside, which is great to have. You can see that I wasn't on that centre line, but we did realise just in time. Brought it in. We're going to see probably a little skip on that flare. But it's great fun to have a challenge in these airplanes. It's what it's all about, really, isn't it? There we go, found our way over into the runway. Bit of a bounce, just holding it there. And now not being too quick with the throttle. Gently bring that to idle. Letting it settle. Trying not to be too sensitive, bit of aileron. Yeah, any sort of yaw and you'll destabilise yourself. And we are down, rolling out, starting to apply the brakes. Fantastic. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this little preview of the Spitfire by FlyingIron Simulations. Thank you again to FlyingIron for sending it over. It's been great fun to have a go with it. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see with this aircraft. I believe it's releasing fairly soon, but yeah, it's been great fun to have a bit of a go. So you guys let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see. Let me know what you thought of the video. Plenty more tutorials on the Airbus and other flight simulator related videos to come on the channel soon. So do please subscribe if you've enjoyed this, and we've got more live streams as well coming up fairly shortly. Right, that's all from me, so thanks very much for watching. See you again in another video or live stream soon. Bye bye.